The village of Eldergrove had long been plagued by tales of cursed creature areas, places where the land twisted into mockeries of life, haunted by the specters of beasts long gone. At the edge of town, away from the buzz of life, lay the most notorious of these areas, an enigmatic stretch of woods known as Ravenscar Hollow. It was said that those who entered would never return the same, if they returned at all. 17-year-old Lucy Reynolds had a keen fascination with the stories that danced around Ravenscar Hollow. She had spent countless nights devouring tales of its lurking horrors, the strange cries echoing through the trees, and the shadowy figures that flitted across the periphery of the mind. Her friends dismissed her spirited passion for adventure, rolling their eyes whenever she brought up the cursed woods, but Lucy felt an undeniable pull to uncover the truth. One fog-laden afternoon, Lucy resolved to confront her friends one last time. "I'm going into Ravenscar Hollow," she announced at lunch, her heart racing with both fear and excitement. "I'll prove there's nothing to be afraid of." Her best friends, Jenna and Marcus, exchanged uneasy glances. They didn't want to lose Lucy to the woods, but a part of them also wanted to follow her, to ensure she didn't meet a fate like those whispered through generations. With much convincing, they agreed but set their own boundaries firmly. "We'll go in, take a few pictures, and leave," Marcus stated with an air of authority, his gaze darting toward the darkening sky. As twilight descended, the trio grabbed their backpacks filled with snacks, flashlights, and an old camera, before setting out towards the mouth of the forest. They followed a narrow dirt path that curled around jagged stones and ancient trees. The further they ventured, the heavier the air became, wrapping around them like a wet blanket. Whispers of the wind rustled through the leaves, sounding almost like warnings. "Maybe we should turn back," Jenna said, glancing over her shoulder. The discomfort of being in such a storied place began to gnaw at her. But Lucy shook her head. She was insistent on exploring further. "I just want to take a picture at the Heartstone," she urged, recalling the tales of the smooth, black stone that lay in the very heart of Ravenscar Hollow, said to be the resting place of the cursed beings, where their spirits remained trapped forever. Ignoring objections, they pressed on, their flashlights carving through the deepening night. Shadows twisted in odd shapes, their imaginations running wild with every creak and snap of a twig underfoot. At last, they reached a small clearing. The fabled Heartstone lay before them, ominous and dark in the moonlight. Uneasiness rippled through the group as Lucy approached the stone. "Look," she breathed, reaching out a tentative hand. "It's beautiful." She pulled out her camera, framing the shot, but before she could take it, a sudden chill wrapped around them, static charged with dread. The hair on Lucy's arms stood upright. Suddenly, a raspy whisper broke through the silence of the woods. "Leave, now?" Startled, the trio froze. "Did you hear that?" Jenna whispered, her voice trembling. The whisper swelled into a cacophony of chaos, threading through their minds like tangled vines. "Okay, this is too much," Marcus urged, stepping back, but the ground below seemed to pulse, the Heartstone thrumming with an energy that pinned them in place. Lucy felt a strange sensation wash over her, an urge, a longing, compelling her to touch the cold surface of the Heartstone. Her fingers brushed against the smooth, black surface, and that's when the world slipped away. Visions crashed like waves against her, screams of tortured souls, glimpses of grotesque creatures writhing in agony. Each cry resonated through her, echoes of the lost souls imprisoned in this horrifying realm. "What have I done?" she gasped, pulling her hand back, but the connection had been made. A dark moaning filled the clearing as shadows began to twist and stretch, forming monstrous shapes flickering before their eyes. "Run!" Marcus shouted, breaking the curse that paralyzed them. They turned and sprinted, branches slashing at their skin, briars reaching for their ankles. They could still hear the voices, drawing near, pulsing with hunger and anger. As they emerged breathless, finally crossing the threshold of the forest, a tense silence fell behind them. They dared a tentative glance back. The woods appeared unchanged, yet a lingering feeling of dread clung to them. Over the next few days, Lucy became restless, haunted by far more than mere shadows. The whispers had followed her into the daylight, creeping into her dreams, swirling with nightmares she could not escape. Jenna and Marcus felt it too, a hidden part of the experience that gnawed at their sanity, a strange disconnect in their realities. Days turned into weeks, and while her friends slowly returned to normalcy, Lucy felt the slow transformation begin, fragments of herself slipping away, darkness inching closer. One evening, as dusk wrapped around her, she wandered back to Ravenscar Hollow without thinking. Only this time, the woods welcomed her, shadows reaching out, wrapping around her fingers like bony hands. She stepped deeper into the heart of the forest, ready to embrace the curse she had unleashed. As they searched for her, Jenna and Marcus felt the tug of loss for their friend, now forever a part of the haunting whispers. They grasped each other's hands, knowing that they might return someday, to chase the shadows and perhaps find Lucy's spirit still lingering in Ravenscar Hollow, a chilling reminder of the cost of curiosity.